Okay, I'm trying something a little different here. I am driving. You probably just heard the car doors lock. If this microphone is worth anything, and so time's a little tight this Thursday, and I still wanted to get a show out, so I'm gonna try this. I'm on my way to my first job of the day, and I just finished recording the daily podcast for this pandemic time, and thought that I would give this a whirl. So we'll see what happens. The climate control has been turned on, so maybe you'll hear that. You'll get to hear my car whine a little bit. It's just, it's an exciting time to be alive, podcasting and driving at the same time. I'm reminded of a podcast I listened to for a little bit called Home from the Therapist, where a guy would talk about, he would podcast after he had been to each therapy session. And I'm not sure if he's still doing it. I kind of lost touch of the show. I lost, well, to be fair, I lost interest. So, it just wasn't for me. There's nothing wrong with it. But yeah, we're going to give this a try and see how it goes today. And it's what, 25-minute drive. So if I can yammer on for 25 minutes of driving, then woohoo. Let's see what happens. But, really, it is Thursday, May 7th, 2020. And as of this recording, I'm still depressed, but I'm not dead. Okay, I am back. I am moving along. Things are happening. Got a little frog in my throat. So, I had a discussion yesterday with a friend of mine, and this was the first talk that we had about her dealing with mental illness. And, it was brought upon by me. I kind of foisted myself upon the conversation, and said, "Hey, you know what? Let's chat for a little bit. This is relatively new revelation, not to herself, but to the world, that she was struggling." And I thought, well, I've got a lot of life experience in this, so let me take control here and be the superhero. So whatever that's worth. We talked for a while, and it was remarkable to me again at how much shared experience that those of us who deal with at least depression share, right? How much thoughts that she's had, I have. Thoughts that I had really strong back before my medication change, which has really given me quite a reprieve of the suicidal thoughts and things like that. And then, we talked more, and we found out that we have the same kind of, I did that one episode where I talked about how I count my steps. And, she does the same thing, and, count whatever, and just different little quirks and idiosyncrasies. And, those parts are just like funny coincidences, right? But the other part, the kind of like feeling comforted when you know that you kind of have a plan, right? Like it's always in the back of your head that suicide is a choice, and a choice is not the right word to say, right? But it's an option, and that you, because you have this secret stash of medication, or because you know where the tallest bridge is, or because you know where the place to jump off the cruise ship is, that it's somehow comforting to have that information. And and she was like, yeah, I get that. And I'm kind of hoping that that it's a revelation to her that, she's not the only one. And this is what I hear a lot from you guys when you write in. And hopefully I was able to, forge a route of communication for her, someone that she can talk to and someone that she knows will understand. But yeah, I mean, it was just interesting, and I kind of retold my story of my last suicide attempt and that situation. And it's been a while since I've really told that story. And I know of, I didn't have any new information to add to the story. Like sometimes, like something is jogged in your memory when you think about something for the first time in a while, or your subconscious is always working in the background, and nothing, still the same thing, still a big blank day, still spent all day, I was all day in a crisis mode, which is counter to conventional thinking about how long to get through a crisis mode, which a lot of numbers you hear are like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, like a cup of coffee. If you get someone in crisis mode and you get them to sit down with you for 10, 15 minutes, then hopefully you can get them past that initial crisis situation. And it's not, it doesn't cure them of suicidal ideations, but it gets them out of that immediate danger zone. And it was interesting. It was like an hour and a half that we talked, and it was nice. It's not, it's weird that, it struck her as weird that I said, hey, let's have this chat, because I don't, outside of this podcast, like, you'd be surprised at how little I really communicate and how reluctant I am to hold a conversation. And that's why it's amazing to me that, new friends like Claire, that we've clicked, and, she's a sweetheart for putting up with my, short 1-2 word answers on Facebook Messenger or wherever we happen to be chatting for a particular day. So yeah, it was nice, I guess we'll say. It was nice. And there's a big part of me, though, that's like, I don't know if it's anxiety or what, but like I offered up, I said, hey, if you ever just want to chat, let me know. If you ever want to have a conversation over our individual beverages of choice, let me know. And like, I think I meant it, but like at the same time, I'm kind of anxious. Like, what if she does? What if, because I as reluctant as I am to have a conversation with people, there's even more times when I'm far more reluctant to even like answer Dave on a text message, or my girls, or whatever. And I just get, what if those link up, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm worrying about, I'm over catastrophizing, we'll say. So we're in like 6 weeks, more than that, right? Beginning of March, maybe. I mean, parts of the world, end of February. So we're at like 10 weeks, of this kind of stay at home, shelter in place, lockdown, quarantine, whatever is happening in your part of the world. And I got to admit that although I'm not the best at understanding my place emotionally in the world, like I think this lifestyle suits me, right? Like, there's not an expectation of like meeting people out in the world and having a conversation. There's not an expectation of um, going to, parties or gatherings and having to socialize. It's like more people are just doing their own thing, and that really suits me. And I don't want to say I'm thriving, because I'm not, and I'm sure there's more going on than I'm willing to admit. But like I feel okay with what's going on. Not with the sickness and the death and all that, but and the people who are struggling. And I wish there was some kind of meshing we could do with, like cement myself in this lifestyle, but let everybody else do their thing, and not feel like there's a pressure to be more outgoing. And there's my neighbors across the street who are in our family bubble. I've mentioned that before. Nora has deemed this family in our bubble. And we had like one of my girls were here last weekend. Then, like, my youngest made cupcakes for everybody. She made these Harry Potter sorting hat cupcakes. Did I talk about this? Maybe I did. And put little, like, an Oreo and a Hershey Kiss on the top to look like a hat. And inside each cupcake was hollowed out, and it was one of 4 colors of frosting that was injected into it. And that's like the reveal, right? Like, you don't know. And she had known what everybody's house was. I guess that's what we do, right? In Harry Potter, sorting into houses. So she actually colored them. So, like, if you're I talked about this, Hufflepuff or Tinky Winky. I made that joke already. And then while those were being consumed, it was like, oh, hey, JP, when your birthday comes, this neighbor, she likes to bake and cook and things like that. She said, we're going to make you something. And I was like, right away, I'm like, really? Do we have to do that? Do we have to, like, get together for my birthday? I appreciate the sentiment. I appreciate the effort that someone would put into it, but, like, I just don't want it. And part of me gets a little upset, I guess. Like, how do I make that more known that that's not what I want, and get people to understand that and say, hey, you just want to hang out with your kids and Nora and just eat a pistachio cake and some pizza, and that's like your ideal birthday celebration, then hey, great. Have that, and I'll send you a Facebook Messenger happy birthday. And boy, that would just be wonderful, right? I can type out thank you 20, 30 times on Facebook. That's not an issue, but, like, to have to be somebody else is not something I'm looking forward to. And that's kind of what this whole kind of pandemic thing affords me, right? Like, I don't have to be someone else most of the time. Right. I mean, if I go to the store, I'm polite anyway by nature, and so I fit right in with no, absolutely. 6 feet. You go right ahead. You go down the aisle first, no problem, and take your time, and I kind of fit in there, but it's not like then someone said, oftentimes it's like, oh, hey, boy, everybody's shopping Windex right now, or whatever, some inane small talk question or comment that people are apt to make. So yeah, JP likes pandemic time, I guess, minus the sickness and the death of the world. So if we could somehow have, what if moods were contagious like coronavirus were, and like we socially distanced because we didn't want, because grumpy guy or depressed guy, right? Like, hey, give him space because he's dealing with something. And what if, I don't know how we would identify that, right? I mean, I get into all kinds of different things, but yeah, wouldn't that be great? And just yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling here. Turns out I ramble just as much when I'm driving as when I'm sitting still. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, what else is going on? I mean, Nora is getting more into fitness with this Peloton, and I'd really like to get her on for next week. So maybe I'll try to do that, and have her talk about how she's doing with everything going on. And like my running is going pretty decently, although this past week my weight hasn't been going that well. But like Sunday, I ran 7 miles, and it was like the fastest run I've had in probably a year in terms of overall time start to finish, um, and it didn't feel terrible, and like that's kind of promising. Like I like that, and at the same time, catastrophizing me is saying, well, it's about time to pull a hamstring or have your knee start flaring up or something. So yeah, there's pessimistic JP comes through every now and then. And not that I believe in jinxing or fate or something. I just believe in bad coincidences, bad timing when it comes to me and the world, especially my overall body workability and exercise in the world. So yeah, I mean that's going pretty well. My mom is doing okay. I still haven't mourned my dad having passed back in September. And, a lot of things just haven't changed, and it's status quo for this is my life, right? I don't know. I don't know. We so my conversation yesterday with my friend, we talked about therapy, and I admitted, I think for the first time, that I really haven't done any therapy for a while, about since this whole stay-at-home thing happened. And I talked about that kind of passing comment that my last therapist said about me being an attractive person, and it just weirded me out in a way that I just couldn't get past. And so when the opportunity came to hey, she was going to start doing distance therapy, right, over a Zoom call or Skype or whatever, I kind of took that opportunity to say, okay, well, hey, I'm not too keen on doing that. I understand that's what we have to do, but I don't think I'm going to benefit from that. And we just parted ways. And I haven't lied to Nora about it. She's just such a busy person and has so much going on that I think part of her just assumes that I'm doing the things I'm supposed to be doing, or my status quo is therapy. But so I haven't told her that I haven't had any therapy. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I look at it like I'm getting as much out of non-therapy as I maybe would have gotten out of therapy with that particular therapist. Just because I can't let go of that issue. And so, and I'm still doing okay. I haven't really dwelled on any of the super bad thoughts, right? And my kind of whole lack of emotion is kind of gives me a pause. Like I'm at a point where I'm not overly down and I'm not up, I'm not anything. And so, I'm content living in that space right now. And yeah, just talking to you all is my therapy, I guess. And I in a way, maybe like the daily podcast is therapy too. Like talking, I mean, they're like 10, 15 minutes long at most. So we'll say 12 minutes. So 7 days a week, right? That's like 84 minutes of talk, which is twice what a therapy session would be. So, maybe that in itself is a kind of therapy for me, even though I don't necessarily get feedback on it. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm on the highway now, and if it's a little bit louder, I apologize. you guys can let me know how this experiment went when you get a chance. Send me an email, jamolke@gmail.com, facebook.com/jamolke, @jamolke on Twitter, www.jamolke.info, that's JAMOALKI, or you can text me in the US, 248-648-1419, or worldwide on the wonderful WhatsApp, +1 248-648-1419. And let me know how this went. I may or may not really go through and edit it. I may just put it out there like the lazy SOB that I've become with this show. We'll see. When I get to my store, if I have Wi-Fi signal, I may just throw in the music and upload the show and get it out there for you guys, and hope that it's not terrible, and hope I don't lose any listeners because of poor audio quality. I don't know. So my girls were up last weekend, long weekend, and that was really good. And I think I missed them. Like yesterday I was, I made sloppy joes for the family, which I think only Nora ate. And it was Wednesday is my splurge day, and I'm not really into sloppy joes, so I made myself some turkey Polish sausage with barbecue sauce on it, and I make these little sliders out of it, and all in, it's like 1,000 calories for this meal, and which is like half my daily intake. But the idea is that I've earned it. I've gone through a week of dieting, and even though I gained a little weight over the past week, I still took it as a splurge day. But I was thinking, like, wouldn't it be nice if my girls were here, and I wanted to make a comment, say something to my youngest, like, hey, okay, will you help me out here, and anything, whatever. Just kind of having them around is always nice, and it seems like especially more so lately. So I guess I can say that I miss people sometimes now, which is a new development in the world of JP. I never would have said that before. I mean, I've said it, when it seems right to say it, but I don't know that I ever have, and I just felt a little empty walking through the kitchen yesterday, stirring up the crock pot of sloppy joe mix and ground pork. So I, and I kind of took it as, hey, that's nice. It's nice that I miss them. Isn't it? It is nice, isn't it? I suppose it is. I don't know. That's probably all I've got to say. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is safe. I hope your family members are safe, and that you're doing all the appropriate things to protect yourself and the greater society from what's going on. And a lot of the talk that I hear lately in the U.S. at least is that things still are going to get worse, especially with we have here in the United States, we have just that. We have states, and each in our fearful leader President Trump is kind of put it on each individual state as to when they want to try to open back up and start letting people roam the streets more regularly and open up more businesses. And some states have started doing that, while others are maybe relaxed their settings just a little bit. But we're gonna see in a couple of weeks how that's going. And right now the outlook is kind of dire. So I don't know. Maybe I'll get my twisted hope that things stay the status quo for a while longer. And I don't like it for people like my mom, who's all alone. But I can't do much for her. Like, I call her every other day or so, and But that's all I can really do, right? And maybe that's enough, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm really kind of yammering here, so I'm gonna well, actually, I didn't think of this. I'm driving. I can't stop the recording until I stop the car. So I guess you're stuck with me for another couple minutes. Um, yeah. So, yeah, I'd like to hear from you. So here's a plea. So if you're a listener, if you've been a listener for a while and you haven't messaged me, think about it. Send me an email, send me a message just to let me know how you're doing, what you think of the show, how you found the show. Um, and those of you who have messaged me a lot, keep it coming. Even though I may not be the best at replying back right away. Yeah, it's nice to hear from people. So I would like to hear from you if you're a listener of the show and you've got thoughts and ideas about the show. Um, Anything, you like it, you don't like it. This car ride was way too noisy. Anything, whatever it is, message me. Let me know all those Jamulki places. And yeah, I mean, this is episode 188E, maybe F. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know if I officially said it, but I am putting these fuller episodes on pause for a while. That's why they've been titled like 188A, 188B, 188C. So yeah, there I've yammered long enough. Thank you everyone for stopping in and listening to the show. I appreciate it. Give me a review on iTunes. Give me a 5-star rating. Leave a review. Just kind of pump me up, make me feel good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm yammering. So thanks everybody. Until next time, be safe and be well.